Greetings and welcome to the EMBN Show. We're joined by the man of the bog and some very cool new e-mountain bikes. You know what man of the bog means?
No.
Well, I have to...
Is it a good thing?
Yeah, I have to... Look, I'll be straight with you, right? When you did on the Kelly's trip,
Yeah.
I thought, let's find a bog for Owen and Louis to go across. Because I think it's part of the learning process.
Yeah, no, it was.
With
It's
e-mountain bikes. Because route planning on an e-mountain bike is critical.
Yeah.
Get it wrong and you're carrying a 20, 25 kilo bike across a bog or a mountain. Apologies. But greetings at the same time. Welcome to the EMBN Show.
No, but it was worth it though, because that trip, like in the bog, middle of nowhere. It's amazing, nothing around. You couldn't do that on a regular bike.
Let's get straight into the news. Rocky Mountain have got a new bike. Yeah, they got a new bike. This is a new SL version of their Powerplay.
Oh, interesting.
Sub 20 kilos. We're looking at 65 Newton meters on the torque scale. I mean, you've got to be careful with torque. I mean, it is nothing but a kind of indication. It's the language people talk about with e-mountain bikes.
Yeah.
550 watts peak power, 480 watt hour battery, 314 watt hour range extender available for $360. 145 rear, 150 mil front.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Rocky Mountain. What do you know about Rocky Mountain?
Well, I've been sort of OG mountain bike brand for a long, long time. Lots of cross-country bikes, lots of free ride bikes. I say free ride, should say fro ride, because they had the fro ride team.
Okay, really?
Cannondale,
they did, didn't they?
Yeah, tried to brand name free ride in mountain bikes. It was a thing already in snowboard. And they went, yeah, we're going to have a free ride bike, which was essentially their sort of downhill fork on one of their sort of trailish cross-country suspension bikes. And I think they actually took Rocky Mountain to court. So they went, we'll just call them Fro Riders. Useless fact, there you go.
No, that's a brilliant fact. That's
Okay.
I mean, this is why you are the tech guru. Right?
Guru or nerd? Yeah.
And I think today, did you mention earlier that you're a hungover tech guru today? Oh,
No, I hadn't, but thanks for that.
What was the
Brilliant.
occasion last night?
It was Halloween.
Of course it was.
Yeah,
Of
spooky,
course it was.
spectacular.
Thok, meanwhile, there's a great...
I've seen this.
Thok.
This looks really interesting.
Great annual event from Thok.
Okay.
Meet the Tokkers. And what's the famous moment in Meet the Tokkers? Nick knows.
I don't know.
Yeah. Remember with the kid with just Dustin Hoffman? No.
Oh,
these guys will know.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Different film, but
Anyhow,
yeah.
They've got a new range of bikes. The TP4 Limited Edition, only 30 available. Retails for €10,000. Now this time, I mean, Thok are famous for having Shimano bike, but they've got a Bosch CX in here. Says Gen 5, it's not Gen 5, it's an evolution of the other motor.
Okay, that sounds
400,
like
600, 800 watt hour battery. I love the fact that there's a modularity to this bike. Very cool. So, I mean, the thing with e-bikes, the weight thing is ultimately just about how much fuel you've got in the tank.
Yeah.
That's it, really.
TP4, I think the carbon frame is made in Italy, and they've made a big shout about that. And they also made for the prototyping, they made an all-aluminium e-bike, but it was like a machined one-piece front triangle, which is, cool. They think it's the first.
Do you know what? I feel now that I need to give everyone a bit of extra information based on what you've been talking about these other brands. So here's my behind the scenes on Thok.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the guys actually own a biscuit factory.
Oh.
Yeah. Biscuit factory nonetheless.
Wow. There we go. Well, that is, yeah.
What about weights then? Weight 24 kilos and 24.3 with the 800 watt hour battery. Chainstay 459. What's the current? You mentioned a minute ago about chainstays and downhill bikes. What is the kind of average on downhill bikes now then? You better know.
I'm going to say probably like a 450, something like that.
Really? They've lengthened the chainstays and downhill bikes?
Maybe up to 460, but loads of brands, even if people are running like mixed wheel size, people are running, playing with rear centre. Again. Yeah.
I guess it all depends on the gradient of the track, right, as well. That plays a part.
Yeah.
Right, that's our geometry chat for the week. Want to turn our attention to the Bosch motor. And obviously there's lots of Bosch motors on lots of e-mountain bikes at the moment. And what we didn't cover actually in the video we did on the new CX motor was actually have a look what the changes were inside the motors. Okay guys, welcome back to Finale, and massive thanks to Nicola Seriati from Bosch, who's brought us one of the refined Bosch drive units. Now, I just want to point out actually that when the motor was launched a few weeks ago, it's not actually a Gen 5 as some of the world's media have been calling it. It's simply a refinement of the existing drive unit, because as Nicola pointed out, if you actually add the changes, this could actually be a Gen 6 motor because of the changes that have happened in the last few years. There's two features actually which are key to the update, and those revolve around the sound of the motor, both uphill and downhill. Now, when it comes to the downhill noise, the previous rattle, which many of you have commented on, although I don't actually hear the rattle because I think when you're in rocks and roots, it's the trail material which is making the noise more than any rattle from the motor. My teeth probably rattle a bit more than what the old motor did. But what they've done, they've actually they've inserted a new freewheel underneath this first cog here, which actually decouples it when you're descending. So the previous noise was actually caused by a very small movement in the crank there, and obviously it was amplified by having your both feet on the cranks. If I just try to move this crank, there's absolutely no movement in it whatsoever. And like I said, that's because there's a new freewheel underneath that cog there. I mean, what a beautiful motor, guys. Now, when it comes to the reduced sound of the drive unit uphill, that's actually been accomplished by Bosch putting in a new plastic cog here, although it's not actually plastic, it's some fancy material. But that has enabled Bosch to make this motor even quieter than it was previously. A couple of other things I want to show you as well. Two more products are actually the new batteries, the PowerTube 600 and the PowerTube 800, 3 kilos and 4 kilos. It's quite interesting, guys, that the fact that this new 800, obviously there's new cells in it, is not really that much bigger than a 500 was of, say, 6-7 years ago. But I think the great thing with Bosch is the whole modularity business. We saw bikes such as the new Trek Rail has got the 800, which is removable. And I really think the option for riders to have either a 600 or an 800 watt-hour battery in their bikes is a really cool thing. I think we saw the new Focus Jam Squared has the option of having a 6 or an 800, so definitely like to see more of that in the future. Automatic shifting is the second feature. This is manufactured by TRP, and it comes in the form of the derailleur and also the shifter. Obviously, it's electronic, and as you can see here, this is connected directly to the Bosch drive unit. So very cool that Bosch are introducing this. Apparently, this is going to be retrofittable, possibly in 2025, to Bosch e-mountain bikes. Out and about, where have you been the last few weeks? Where have you been the last few weeks, Owen?
The Bike Park Wales.
At the Bike Park Wales?
Yes.
What have you been doing at the Bike Park Wales?
Testing some fun, new damping things.
Is damping fun?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, really interesting. Lots of fun. Really enjoyed it.
25 years ago, I wandered into those very woodlands with my 357 Husqvarna chainsaw to build the first ever down track there. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked.
Like the Dragon one.
The Dragon one, yeah. The Dragon.
Legendary.
This first shot is from the Isle of Wight, actually, a Nigel.
Oh, lovely. You know, when I first saw it, I thought it was sort of Wiltshire or something like that,
No,
with these wonderful views. But it is very nice.
But I'd like to turn your attention, actually, to this beautiful Swiss mountain shot. Need to get you in the mountains on an e-mountain bike.
I mean, yes, please. That sounds great.
But look at that. Isn't that just iconic mountain biking?
Yeah.
Thank you, Ralph. And thank you also to Jerry.
Oh, wow. Celeronda in the snow. That's really amazing.
Celeronda's Dolomites.
Yes. Yes.
Cold and snowy, but epic views.
Yeah, that looks brilliant.
And this is, I thought this was Merthyr Tydfil, but it's not. It's Threadbow, New South Wales, Australia. From
Different Wales.
Davo. Oh, of course, didn't get that.
It's good.
Like it.
Yeah. Wonderful. And Threadbow ski season, very cool. So we've had lots of ski resorts in there. Great.
Folks, thanks so much for, I really like thinking about new places to go. And from today's, I'm thinking, yeah, need to get to Switzerland more.
Yes.
I mean, I have actually, myself and Nick behind the camera have been in Switzerland the last month, but we can't go into that.
Really?
No.
Oh, you're not allowed to?
Not allowed to.
Oh, right.
But keep that bit in the show.
You comment, we listen. We take the time to check what you've been saying in the comments, and we really enjoy reading it. The feedback's always good, and we try and feed back to what you're saying as well.
Really,
so, yeah,
really enjoy the feedback. Actually, one of our latest videos, riding the Nikolai Saturn. Kais Teeple and several others wanted to know more about the location. Great bike. I didn't really understand where the location is. Caldi. Yeah, I'm really sorry. My pronunciation wasn't brilliant. It wasn't epic, but the location was. The location was actually Valmyra.
Yeah.
Nick was in Valmyra.
Oh, there you go.
Nick was in Valmyra. Great place, right?
Yeah.
Amazing place.
Okay, nice.
We stayed in a village called Marmora, and there's a few, well, there's actually one main place to stay. Food is epic as well. Trails-wise, sort of natural single-track riding.
Oh, yes,
which
please.
is what I think,
Yeah.
which I like riding a mountain bike on. But we actually went to this col. I mean, I mentioned Marco Pantani.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here's a bit of a behind-the-scenes for you. Drove an hour and a half to this col. Is it col or a saddle? Col.
Col.
Yeah. And we were trying to get from A to B, but we had this Pantani col in the middle, made famous by Marco Pantani,
Yep.
the fastest ever person to climb that. And this place is in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
the middle of nowhere, and they're tarmacking it. Like in the and like nobody goes there, but I think they're tarmacking it in honour of Pantani.
Maybe the Giro going up there next year, maybe.
Oh, you see, I didn't think about
Yeah, no,
that.
but they often do that.
Do they do that? Do they?
Yeah, Tour de France, they often re-tarmac all the roads, which is one reason why roadies have stuck with real skinny, silly tyres for so long. Is because roadies look at pros and go, well, pros are running tiny tyres. And it's like, yeah, because they're riding on a surface this smooth, because they redo the roads. Versus, yeah.
Maybe the Tour of France is coming through my village then.
Could be.
Yeah, new tarmac.
All right, there you go.
You see, I'm surprised that GCN don't talk about tarmac. Mountain bikers talk
That's
about
a really
loam.
good point,
I mean,
actually.
tarmac is beautiful, isn't it? I
Yeah,
love
it
the
is.
smell of tarmac.
Yeah.
What channel are we working on? Anyhow, talking of the Nikolai, Pat Dennehy wanted to know, nothing excites me more than the idea of a maintenance-free motor gearbox. Will this bike be available in the States? How much will it set me back? Are there any other competitors' opinion? Or are they the only ones who see the future of eMTB? Thanks for the video, gents. That is a lot of questions.
Yeah, it is.
Very, very good questions. Will it be available in the States? I'll find out. How much will it set me back? Well, that bike was 10,000 euros, whatever what that translates to. Are there any other competitors' opinion? No, there's not really. There's not. I mean, I'm not saying there might not be. We saw the guys from France with the continuously variable transmission.
Oh, CVTs are always fun.
Yeah. There is rumour there is another company coming, but for the moment, Pinion are the only people who have delivered something which, really does work in the mountains. Yeah. And I was actually out on it yesterday. I love the fact that you can cruise down a hill and then you see a bit of single track, and normally you've got to ride around in a couple of circles to get in the right gear.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, nice single track. Oh, hold on a minute. Oh, up the single track.
Yeah.
Really like it. Alex Rio Eduardo.
Oh.
You guys think there's still a market for 20 kilo plus eMTBs? I think they're history.
Shots fired there.
It's a massive subject. Everybody that was on the Nikolai trip, that bike was 27 kilos. And we also had bikes on that trip which was sub 20 kilos.
Okay, yeah.
Everybody got massive confidence from riding down the hill with the 27 kilo Nikolai, right? So sometimes it's not just about the gearbox and things like that on the belt drive. It's actually about the grip, the silence, and the balance that a heavier bike gives you. Yeah. I was actually riding, like I said, I was riding the Nikolai yesterday. It's the fact that when you're riding rocks, there's less deflection.
Yeah.
That's just one example.
We were talking, like, when I was in Bike Park Wales, we were talking about damping, and we can there's a whole video on it, so you can go and watch it. But one of the things that pops up is this sprung mass versus unsprung mass. And bikes are always challenged because the main frame of the bike is really, really light. And thus the suspension, when you kind of get to a physics level of how stuff moves and how stuff interacts, it's actually quite hard to set up. And that's one of the things with an e-bike where you've got a centred mass. It means that the balance between sprung mass and unsprung mass immediately changes. And even if it's a relatively simple fork or simple damper, it will work better because of this ratio. It's ace.
You see, this is a huge subject. I'm glad you're here to discuss this in a small. We haven't got the. We're looking at your watch then, weren't you?
No.
Yeah, we haven't got the time. What I was thinking yesterday is that unsprung mass, sprung mass, blah blah blah, all that stuff. I think it's the fact of where the weight is in the bike is really key.
Yeah, agreed.
But also, riding the Nikolai yesterday, is the fact that the rear of the bike is totally solid. It's not just because it's belt drive. I think the hub on the bike is like it purrs.
Yep.
So I guess some people like noisy hubs, some people like silent hubs.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got Industry 9 hubs on the channel, which make a lovely purr. You can actually
they do.
make them quiet, right?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
How would you do that?
So you can get some dedicated, like very light greases, so effectively it doesn't affect the pores from moving, but it helps just dampen down that noise just a little bit. And it's surprising how just a little bit can make a big difference. So if you like a quieter hub, yeah, you can do it.
I reckon you're a double guru.
Double guru.
Yeah.
Bike vault.
After you, Owen.
Right. Bike vault is where you can submit your bikes.
What on earth is going on here? Sorry to interrupt you.
I feel like there's been a formatting issue. Don't worry, it's not a new elliptical wheel size.
What's going on here?
Just a minor formatting issue, but it's a beautiful white E160.
It was.
Oof, yeah, I mean...
I love that colour.
Yeah, it's really good. Teal, turquoise. It's Border City mountain biker. He's doing a solo ride around Whinlatter. That looks rocky and fun. I think that would be cracking for a e-bike.
And cracking for a nice or a super nice.
Oh, I'd forgotten about those. See, we don't have those on tech. So, super nice.
Track Rail 7 2023, Gen 3 Olins, Nathan LaRue. That is a super nice.
Yeah.
Look at this. Martin Ashton would go mental. 3 bikes in the bike vault. An All Bear Wild H20 Lapierre overhaul powered by Bosch and a Scott Ransom.
What a combo. Very good. Super nice. No? Yes.
You're in charge. RX Eagle Sunset Ride north of Boise. Was that Boise?
Boys?
Boys.
Boys?
Bois.
Bois, perhaps.
I don't know.
There we go. It's
Nicky,
in Idaho.
How would you pronounce Boise? Boise. Super nice.
There we go. I love the sunset in that last one. Very good. Now we're getting #GettingSocial. Do you do the hashtag on here? We do it on the old GEMBN Ask.
How's the hashtag?
Hashtag like that. Yeah, there we go. You do it, down with the kids now.
Can you get a double hashtag? Do people do double hashtags?
Well, it would be a moray then, wouldn't it?
A what?
A moray where you got into...
A moray? I thought that was an eel.
Well, it might be, but it's also like an interlacing of layers.
A moray is an eel. Maybe it's 4 eels, 8 eels. Maybe that's what it's called, a moray.
Eel news.
Eel news. Should we call it eel news?
Eel. I always
call it eel news.
Tom Cardy on his way to do his weekly shop. It's pretty rad.
And what about this then?
That looks incredible. You need to ride there.
Maybe I have.
You've ridden there already?
No, but I'd like to.
Is it Indonesia?
Is it Indonesia? They make tyres in Indonesia.
Yeah, they do.
They make wheels in. Apparently, mountain bike frame manufacturers moving to Vietnam increasingly.
I've heard that too. I believe it's because of World Trade Organization rules.
Prime Times on Vancouver Island closes off the section of the show. What did you call it? Eel Social. Hashtag Eel Social.
Yeah, getting social with eels. Vancouver Island stuff is incredible. It's brilliant stuff.
That's it for the that's it from EMBN Show this week. Coming up on the channel on Sunday, we've got 2 Yamaha motors, including the PWXM, which we shot out in France. Very special occasion.
Okay.
And Owen, thanks so much for joining us. I'm glad you made it out of the bog.
Yeah, same here. Pleased that I survived. All thanks to e-bikes.
Yeah. Guys, see you next week.